Welcome back to class, dear students. In this lesson, let's quickly go through introduction to JavaScript frameworks and libraries. So we've learned a lot in the in this AI enhanced Web3 front-end development course to take you from, even if you have never coded before, to the beginning. What do you need to do from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, as you can see from different sections. Then we also talk about API. Then I did another crash course on GraphQL. So if your API is robust. Now, this is another section just more about API, JavaScript frameworks. So what are JavaScript frameworks? What are libraries? Let's quickly run through them and why I feel they are important. So now, JavaScript framework is different from JavaScript library. So though the terms at times are used openly there confusingly. So but for me, JavaScript framework, this provide a complete structure for your application. So they are framework. That means when they say this is a framework, that means when you want to do this thing, you are following this set of rules. You understand? It's already give you this. The heading should be here, the footer should be here, the sidebar should be here, and all those things. So example of modern popular JavaScript framework are Angular, React.js. Then we have like back-end integration through Next.js. Then we have Vue.js. We have Svelte and SvelteKit. So it's just like you have React.js for like your front end. Then your Next.js handle like server side, and then like join everything together. So also is Svelte. SvelteKit also join both Svelte, then like back-end integration together. So, but for me, I've majorly only worked with React.js and Next.js, and I've worked very well with SvelteKit. I think at a point in time, I built this AIHIP University. So here I worked with AI tools. I was able to use OpenAI. So meanwhile, this a decentralized search engine, which when you use as well, you also get token while supporting being in Web3. So when you look at this, let's see. AIHIP University. So you can see, so I have a full course I did then here that help you if you want to use OpenAI to build a kind of ChatGPT clone. And I built this. I didn't use Next.js. I built using SvelteKit. So it's something I actually have. And you can see Solomon Fuske, solid experience almost a year ago. Experience in as well. So I use both. Next.js, React is the most popular, but SvelteKit is also very interesting and much easier. I'm telling you, because I've experienced both, to deal with than React, Next.js. But somehow, because React, Next.js are like the de facto when you talk about JavaScript framework. So it's the number one. So because of that, there are a lot of resources, lot of ready-made templates, lot of everything that can help you compared to SvelteKit, which is just picking up. And another funny, interesting thing is that this site itself is a SvelteKit build. So I built it with SvelteKit, and I used a template like that for it. So you can see things here. So this part of example of Svelte JavaScript framework. And when you look at what's the reason you should use a JavaScript framework and not just use JavaScript directly. Now, when we get to this level, when we talk about like TypeScript and things like that, you also learn more. Like I told you in the previous lessons, there are ways we ought to get some errors. We couldn't get it, like we are doing something like variable. We started to put the variable to odd number, then later we change it to string, which break our calculation that we are trying to do some, but without error from JavaScript. So those are what TypeScript try to fix. Then now imagine working with such thing and now building something robust. A lot of bug you will run into. That's what brought about all this framework. Like they've already built, it's just like you are using a template. For you, that's React. Now you install it, like a full website is up. You just need to now adjust a lot of things. You know, it's not like a full site and you're just changing text, you know, but at least you have a framework to work with. You know, you can deal with route, you can deal with this, you know, all those things. So that makes it much easier compared to JavaScript. Then at the same thing I used to explain is like, think of it this way. If you want to write a raw JavaScript, it's pure JavaScript. Everything you do, like when you look at this, when we are dealing with this, everything we want to do timeout, we want to do this, you have to instruct, see that this document, this must change. We have to instruct the browser every step, you know, to be done. Somebody once used the example which I like so much. It's like when you are dealing with JavaScript framework, it's like you go to JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, which is the pure JavaScript. It's like you go get a recipe to do pizza. You understand? Then you need to go to the market, instruct those selling it to give you this, which could be like maybe 5-10 recipe depending on the ingredient, depending on the recipe you are following, but at least you can't use less than 5 different things, your flour, all those things like that. Now, once you come back from the market again, you need to go right to your kitchen, mix those things, follow the recipe. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and it even takes a level of experience in kind of baking, doing all those things. It's not somebody that's not familiar with even ordinary basic cake or doing all these snacks. It might be difficult to even follow the recipe and not mess things up. So now, once you now have the recipe, you have to go to wait for it to be prepared and done before you can hit it. You see all those processes. You can imagine if you put 100 people down, even have interest, how many will be willing? Then you have the option to just walk into a restaurant or any fast food center and say, okay, I need pizza. You understand what I'm saying? That they do pizza. Then they can just tell you, okay, give us like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Or some of them are even ready. I think some months ago, some time ago, I just walking with my family, my wife and my daughter to a restaurant like that. I think a shopping mall, which also have section for like baking and restaurant. So we just went in. They already baked the pizza. It's already prepared. The price is there. So I just pick it. You can imagine that. I just go there. I need this. It's nice. I just pick it. Look at how both of them. So put it in the part of a developer. Which of them do you think will go to the market, will achieve their dApp faster? So the one that will need to go to the market, get the ingredient, come back, mix it together, bake it, do all those things. And the one that just gets to the restaurant or shopping mall and then order pizza that's even already prepared. Or let's say give them some time to quickly prepare it. And you'll be done within 30 minutes less. But that cannot be if you want to go to the market or order the ingredients, get it together. You have to plan like 3 to 5 hours to go to market, do everything, come back, and then before you prepare it. So that's the same thing when you have a framework. They have done a lot of things to make it easier for you, cut off a lot of headache, a lot of error that you would have done using vanilla JavaScript. And another thing I used to say is that when you use vanilla JavaScript, something you want to achieve that will take you 100 lines of code to achieve it. When you use React and like Next.js, you will eventually use about 50. So already 50% of code writing. Imagine if you now have, let's say, 1,000 lines of code to write, and now you need to just write 500 lines. That's huge headache removed from you. That's huge time saved. You understand what I'm saying? So if that will take you a month, then you now have 2 weeks to work. If that will take you a week, you now have just 2 days to 3 days to work. So you can now imagine when you are working with Svelte Kit, you even have that code cut to you down to like 30 lines of code. Then once this framework gets them, they process them and interpret them back to pure JavaScript. So you are less concerned. So for me, I need 100 lines of code, but here is a framework that I can use. I will write 50 lines of code, and then the framework does the magic behind, compile it and turn it to the 100 I actually need for the browser to work. I'm less concerned about that. So the same for Svelte. I can just write 30 lines of code and then it turn it back to create the 70 and then make things work for me. So then when you talk about library is just a specific, a collection of creating JavaScript that can be used to perform common tasks, thus saving time and effort. Example include jQuery, D3.js, TensorFlow.js is for AI. So I told you I also work with AI and things like that, and I believe in the programming will also get to a level that will also be introducing. Now what we do is to let you know how to enhance yourself as a developer, Web3 developer, with a lot of AI tools, so which we use through this course as well. But I will also still do courses that will actually build dApp that use AI integration. So like OpenAI API, like GPT, maybe GPT-4 or 5 or 10 then. So whatever, we'll still work on them. But what this differs, why it differs from this is that you can use some of this inside here. For example, now you can't use like React, Next.js together with like Angular or Vue or Next.js with Svelte Kit. You understand things like that. So you pick which line you are going. There are different frameworks, require different learning paths on their own. But when you talk about it, it's just like CSS library, like those ones we've used like Tailwind and things like that. You can just integrate it and it handle maybe a specific button. So then that means you can use it in React, in Angular and things like that, compared to some of other things. And jQuery was much used so much then, even before, I think, before this React and things become popular. So those are the major things I just want to clarify and also tell you. And in future courses as well, we'll deal with some of these, like React, Next.js, because by the time you are building a full dApp, we will not be using vanilla JavaScript. That will be so complex, time consuming, resource consuming, and filled with a lot of bug, which you don't want. We can use Next.js or Svelte Kit and make things super faster. So those are the things, and the resources to maybe read about them, I already added them for you. You need support, use the post to comment, read through previous comments from students and learn. If the other asks your question and you test the answer is working, just reply to that answer that this was also helpful or still helpful for me. Instead of repeating the same answer, I won't give you the time to respond. So those are the things when you talk about JavaScript, framework as well, which is so helpful. They make life super easier and cut your development time. So that's just pretty what we need to learn in this section. I remain Solomon, first care of the programming. Let's still keep the program spirit and allow. Please always do good to humanity and nature with your programming skill and whatever knowledge you have to make the world and universe a better place for us all. See you in the next lesson. Peace and bye.